French President Emmanuel Macron is making his annual address to French ambassadors today.
Well, I think quite clearly the biggest challenge, of course, is going to be the economic crisis. You said that Emmanuel Macron said it was the worst since World War II.
Championing the idea that homegrown talent and manufacturing are key.
France, their finance minister, Bruno Le Maire, announced a revised growth forecast for 2024.
France, renowned for its historical economic success, has undergone significant changes in recent years, diluting its distinctive characteristics. Pioneering the Industrial Revolution alongside other nations, France opted for a unique path, prioritizing small artisanal industries over large-scale factories. This approach, partly deliberate and partly a consequence of past events, resulted in an economy that highly valued its workforce amidst a period of rapid global industrialization. However, this divergence from the mainstream model has led to a contemporary dilemma. Despite the famed assertiveness of French workers in demanding their rights, the nation finds itself grappling with pressing national and global challenges, necessitating a re-evaluation of its economic strategies. France stands at a crossroads, unable to sustain its current economic trajectory due to a myriad of complex issues. Welcome to Live Economic News. Today, our focus turns to France, where ominous signs are emerging within its economic landscape. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest content. France faces a critical dilemma. It cannot enact the radical changes needed without risking the departure of its highly active citizens, potentially repeating historical mistakes. The compromise currently adopted appears to offer the worst of both worlds. France, once celebrated for its balance between an egalitarian lifestyle and advanced industry, now boasts one of the world's wealthiest individuals who amassed his fortune from basic leather goods and trinkets. While this single example does not encapsulate the entirety of the national economy, it serves as a stark indicator of underlying shifts. Losing its distinctive economic principles could relegate France to a less competitive imitation of other advanced Western economies. To comprehend these challenges and the difficult choices ahead, it is essential to address fundamental questions. Why does France require such a radical overhaul of its economy? Why does it struggle to implement effective changes? And what are the potential consequences if the country continues to stagnate? France's substantial investments in education and public services aim to stimulate economic growth and sustain future public spending. However, it is imperative to take proactive steps to invest wisely, safeguarding against inflation. Through a partnership with Trading 212, individuals can leverage innovative features such as high-interest cash accounts and customizable investment portfolios. By utilizing these tools, individuals can navigate the complexities of modern finance while securing their financial future. The Industrial Revolution stands as one of the most transformative events in human history, occurring over just a few centuries, a mere blink of an eye by historical standards. This period witnessed the development of machinery and technology that significantly increased individual productivity, transforming societies worldwide from primarily agrarian economies to prosperous consumer societies. Capital development, marked by the creation of machines and technology capable of producing even more machines and goods, reshaped economic landscapes fundamentally. Prior to this era, economies relied heavily on land and labor, with expansion typically achieved through acquiring more land for farming and increasing the labor force. However, the emergence of capital as a third factor of production disrupted this paradigm, challenging even the most expansive empires with the power of superior technology. Capitalists, those who could develop and harness capital, emerged as the new economic elite, surpassing the wealth of landowners and monarchs. This shift catalyzed exponential population growth, global wealth accumulation, and the utilization of limited resources. While this narrative holds true for many countries, France's experience during the Industrial Revolution deviated slightly. Unlike other European nations, where industrialization seemed akin to flipping a switch, France experienced a slower, more gradual transition towards basic automation. This delayed transition can be attributed to the nation's internal upheavals, including revolutions and regional conflicts, which diverted attention and resources away from industrial innovation. Additionally, France faced a drain of skilled workers in the lead-up to the Industrial Revolution, with many fleeing religious persecution. Among these immigrants were mechanics and engineers whose expertise would have been invaluable in a country aspiring to embrace mechanized production. Despite these challenges, France maintained a distinct economic landscape characterized by numerous small artisanal industries. While this decentralized model granted workers considerable leverage over their employers, it also prevented the emergence of monopolies that could exploit consumers. Instead of monopolistic dominance, France's economy featured a myriad of small enterprises competing in a landscape ranging from oligopolies to perfect competition. In essence, while the Industrial Revolution propelled most countries towards large-scale industrialization, France's unique circumstances led to a slower, more measured progression. This nuanced approach preserved a balance between labor and industry, empowering workers while fostering a diverse economic landscape. The dominance of a single company in an industry not only poses problems for consumers who are left with limited choices and potentially subpar products, but also has significant implications for workers. When a single company monopolizes an industry, it exerts downward pressure on wages, leaving employees with little bargaining power. Conversely, a competitive landscape with numerous small firms vying for customers and skilled workers fosters a more egalitarian culture, as seen in France during the Industrial Revolution. France's economic development, although slower compared to other European powers with more concentrated industrial centers, laid the groundwork for a society valuing worker welfare. This slower pace resulted in slightly lower productivity compared to countries like Germany, the UK, and the USA. Despite this, French workers enjoyed better working conditions, strong protections, and secure retirements, a trade-off they deemed acceptable for a balanced lifestyle. Following World War II, France bolstered its economy with the active intervention of the government, a strategy known as dirigism. This approach aimed to rectify the absence of large-scale operations in certain sectors by creating state enterprises such as national banks, high-speed rail services, and Air France. This initiative, a compromise between communism's state ownership of all industry and pure market capitalism's laissez-faire approach, sought to provide essential services while fostering private industry growth. This state enterprises, funded by the government, ensured the provision of critical services at an appropriate scale, complementing the benefits of competition among small companies. While small companies offer advantages for workers and consumers alike, certain industries, like airlines, require large-scale operations to function effectively. In such cases, state intervention facilitated the provision of necessary services, ensuring accessibility and quality while encouraging private industry growth. Thus, France's economic model represents a balance between state intervention and private enterprise, striving to offer the benefits of both approaches for sustained economic development and societal well-being. In industries like transportation, a comprehensive network of routes requires thousands of workers and substantial investment, often provided by the government. From a macroeconomic perspective, governments can be viewed as monopolies that offer goods and services, funded primarily through taxation rather than sales revenue. Unlike private companies motivated by profit, governments aim to fulfill collective needs, such as national defense and emergency services, which individuals may not willingly pay for, but are crucial for society's functioning. While some argue for privatization of such services, government structures are often more effective in providing certain public goods like police forces, funded through taxation and enforced by legal measures. However, certain services, like national airlines and banks, can encounter inefficiencies when dominated by state enterprises. Despite regulations allowing private competition, state-backed entities may pose barriers due to their financial advantage. State enterprises operate differently, focusing not only on profit, but also on public welfare. They may prioritize high employment, even if economically inefficient, and offer services that may not be profitable but benefit society, such as operating low-demand routes. While this model exists in various countries, France's heavy reliance on state enterprises led to inefficiencies and lower output, impacting its competitiveness in the global economy. France's transition towards a more competitive economic model involves balancing its traditional strengths in artisanal craftsmanship with the need for increased productivity and competitiveness. While France's commitment to worker welfare is admirable, It must adapt to global economic realities to remain competitive in the long term. This transition may involve difficult adjustments, but it is necessary for France to sustain its economic viability and competitiveness on the global stage. Certainly, here's a question. What are your thoughts on the economic situation in France and the challenges it currently faces? And how do you think these challenges might affect the country's future economic prospects? Thank you for tuning in to our discussion on the economic challenges facing France. We've explored the complexities of the situation, from the impact of state-owned enterprises to the delicate balance between maintaining worker protections and competitiveness in the global market. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest content. Until next time, take care.